Yasu Malagedo. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Joe Rogan.
So, what do you think? Mikey, that is a great ass. I wouldn't lie to you. Look at yourself. You're tripping over yourself here. Standing here with your pants down by your ankles like a fucking moron. Just take them off. Yeah, I guess it looks kind of stupid, right? Yeah, you're gonna trip and break your fucking head open. Alright, let me see again. Mikey, I'm telling you, as God is my witness, that is a great ass. Really? Yeah. Yeah, it's round and muscular. It's like a rock. Well, I bet I couldn't even fit my cock in your ass. That's how muscular it is. Come on. I'm serious. Look, let me show you. Look, I bet I could barely get the head of it in it.
I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't listened to this skit in for fucking years. Like the first time I heard this was on the Howard Stern show. Like I knew about Joe Rogan when he was on news radio, but yeah, for a couple episodes there on Howard Stern, they were just testing out the waters there because Jackie left and he might have replaced Jackie. And this is one of the skits they always would play. He did it on the CD here. It was called Joe Rogan, I'm Gonna Be Dead Someday. And you go on YouTube, it's called Joe Rogan Getting Pumped. Now, I totally forgot what this was called. I tried to find it on YouTube. I put in like gay weightlifters or, great ass, whatever. I couldn't find it, so I had to Google it. But yeah, it's on YouTube, guys. So enjoy. Does he go all the way? I don't know. But the point is, a lot of people have been talking about... Guys, I swear I did not time that. They're doing construction underneath where I live, and it's the sound of a drill. I just mentioned this skit. Some jokes write themselves. But the point is, I wanted to do a podcast about Joe Rogan, for a while now. And obviously, people are talking about him now and him talking about COVID-19 and giving out misinformation about the guests he's having on. And, I don't know. I'm going to get more into that later. But, this guy's had a hell of a career. I mean, Fear Factor, UFC, and his podcast. He's pretty much known as the best podcaster right now. Most popular, most profitable, probably through Spotify. And, it's pretty crazy. this is a guy who started off doing something in his place. Just, you can see the old clips on YouTube. They're barely, you can barely see them because the quality's not that good. But, he had something here, And he always gave props to Tom Green, too, because Tom Green kind of started doing it in the mid-thousands, late thousands there. And so I always liked Tom Green. I grew up on watching Tom Green, so props to him as well. And, props to Rogan to giving him his props as well. So, big shout-outs to everybody. But seriously, I always liked Rogan. I always thought he was a cool dude. And, if you guys don't mind, I like to talk a few minutes about him. And by minutes, I mean God only knows. But... as always, I like to go on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, because I am cheap as fuck. So, here we go. Joseph James Rogan, born August 11th, 1967. As a Leaf fan, I am forever cursed by this number. Fuck me. Anyways, is an American podcaster, Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC color commentator, comedian, actor, and former television presenter. He hosts the Joe Rogan Experience, a podcast that he launched in 2009 in which he discusses topics such as current events, politics, philosophy, comedy, and hobbies with a variety of guests. Rogan was born in Newark, New Jersey, and began his career in comedy in August 1988 in the Boston area. After relocating to Los Angeles in 1994, he he signed an exclusive development deal with Disney and appeared as an actor on several television shows, including Hardball and News Radio. In 1997, he started working for the UFC as an interviewer and a color commentator. He released his first comedy special, I'm Gonna Be Dead Someday, in 2000, and hosted the game show Fear Factor from 2001 to 2006. After leaving Fear Factor, Rogan focused on his stand-up career and hosted more comedy specials. He launched the Joe Rogan Experience in 2009. By 2015, it was one of the most popular podcasts in the world, regularly receiving millions of views per episode. Spotify obtained exclusive rights to the Joe Rogan Experience in 2020 for a US sum of $100 million. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Rogan drew controversy for hosting individuals such as Robert W. Malone, who promoted COVID-19 misinformation. And there you go. I think a lot of people forget, the United States is a free country, right? I mean, if you're going to fault him for, bringing on people talking about, misinformation about COVID-19 or just discussing their views, whatever. There go the weightlifters again. But the point is, if that's going to happen, then you should just, there'd be no Fox network, that's for sure, right? It's just, well, they're going pretty hard, eh? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, you see what I got to deal with? It's absolutely crazy, to think that, he's being singled out. Why? What's the point? If only I could fuck like that. The point is, I should start doing podcasts at night again, but, it's freedom of speech, guys, like I'm trying to say here. You go out there, you do your thing, that's it. That's what made the Joe Rogan podcast so cool, is that, not only would he have celebrities on there, but he has, a whole bunch of other people you never hear of, like scientists or, whatever, but you try to make it interesting. And obviously, he's definitely created a trend the last, 5 years at least, maybe even more, that anybody can do a podcast. Well, not anybody. Pretty much anybody. Let's be honest. As long as you got a microphone, or in my case, just a simple cell phone, you can do the podcast and thing there. And that's it, But again, then not everybody can do what Rogan has done. Get good guests, create good conversation, and of course, create a little controversy. So I don't know what to tell you. I in the end, I think it's bullshit. I don't know why they're bugging him. I don't get it. I get it, the whole thing, people have to be, informed about certain information about COVID. We're living in crazy times, but at the same time, it's his podcast. He can do what he wants, guys. If you don't like it, don't listen. I can't believe it's 2022 and we still have to tell people, if you don't like something, don't fucking watch it. Don't fucking listen. And just fuck off. That's it. Do your own thing. That's it. Stop bitching and complaining, about your life. Clearly a lot of these people are just jealous that Rogan got a great contract here, and now probably everyone's thinking, I could do a podcast. I could do this. No, you can't. You can't. People knew who Joe Rogan was before this. He had a career and a life before a podcast here. So I like to go and fascinate here. Hopefully it works out better. The grammar, see, again, I can't bitch and complain either, but, I guess I can, because, Canada is also a free country. You guys going to be done with the drilling anytime soon, or no, you're just going to keep going, keep it coming? That's what he said? Okay, that's fine. So let's check out some facts about Joe Rogan. Rogan's childhood wasn't easy. His dad left when he was just 7 years old. But that wasn't the worst part. As Rogan says, all I remember of my dad are these brief, violent flashes of domestic violence. He hasn't spoken to his father since he left. My heart goes out to him, man. My heart goes out to anybody that grew up in a, abusive environment. When you're a kid, that sticks with you forever. So, Again, I don't mean to play Dr. Phil here or nothing, but maybe that's why he took up the whole martial arts thing. Because worst case scenario, he knew that he could defend himself. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being able to protect yourself and wanting to do that. So my heart goes out to him there. Any fan of Rogan's know he's a martial arts fanatic. Well, I just said that. He started martial arts in his early teens because he was terrified of being a loser. It gave him the confidence he needed to feel like a winner. That's understandable. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, a lot of times I'll watch like a Bruce Lee movie or Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta learn how to fight, get pumped up, and I don't know. Of course, I go to bed and I forget everything. But some people it just sticks with them, and sometimes it's almost like meditation in the sense it just relaxes you. It teaches you to be centered, and clearly it's worked for Rogan here. I always said he was like the Jack LaLanne of my generation. And if you don't know who Jack LaLanne is, guys, I can't do everything for you. Just look him up, okay? The guy, he lived a very long time. He sold a lot of juicers, whatever. Joe Rogan won the U.S. Open Championship for Taekwondo and went to become an instructor. Unfortunately, he had to hang up his belt at 21 because he kept getting headaches. I mean, these must have been some pretty severe headaches. I don't know. I get hungover sometimes, not from working out, just from, tequila. And I just take a couple Tylenols, I'm good. So yeah, this must have been pretty extreme. I can't listen. This body was not meant to kick. The first sponsor for the JRE was a certain famous adult toy aimed at men. JRE obviously stands for Joe Rogan Experience. Think flashlight, but a lot more proactive. You know what I mean? No, we don't. Is this like a sex toy? What are they trying to say here? I don't know. Adult toy? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. That's a lot of lights. E.T. would love that shit. Yeah. E.T., I don't mean to be rude or nothing, but you got a great ass. Thank you. That finger. Where has that been? Joe Rogan never thought about a career as a stand-up comedian until his Taekwondo friends convinced him to pursue it. He was great at making... What? Wait. He was great a making. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Like, fascinating. I love you. But, he was great at making. Right? That's, yeah. I mean, my mom was an English teacher. I mean, I should know a little bit. Them laugh by doing jokes and impressions of them. They thought he was so great at it, he should get on stage. There you go. I said it before, guys, and I'll say it again. If 100 different people tell you that you're good at something, that means you should do that for the rest of your life. And especially with comedy, 100 different people tell you you're funny, go do it. I encourage anybody to actually do stand-up. I've done stand-up. It went decent. I'm not going to lie. I definitely was not the worst that night. I'll talk about that another time. But I encourage anybody to do it. Just to say you did it. Who cares? I didn't get paid. You usually don't in the beginning. I'll be honest with you. It's a tough road ahead. If you got the balls to stick out and do it for a long time, it should pay off, Will you get that Seinfeld money? Who the fuck knows? But you know what? You might get that Spotify money. Rogan has worked a lot of jobs in his past. He was a newspaper boy, a limo driver, a construction worker, and a private investigator's assistant at various points of his life. I was a newspaper boy, never drove a limo. I drove for a rental company. I got fired because I got into a fight with like a 9-year-old woman. Again, that's a long story. Construction worker, yeah, I'm Greek and Italian, that's obvious. Private investigator's assistant. I just assume that means that he worked for a private investigator, and if shit went down, he would beat him up. I'm just speculating. I don't know the facts. I'm just saying. I just for some reason I pictured that scene in Rocky where, he was gonna break the guy's thumbs, but then he had a change of heart, and just whatever, bandage it up. Don't be in the area. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's cool. You gotta start somewhere. In the late 80s, Joe Rogan was performing a new 5-minute set at a comedy club one night. In the audience was manager Jeff Sussman. He signed Rogan, allowing him to work full-time as a comedian. Now, I've heard of Jeff Sussman. I believe he signed quite a few people. So, you hope for that, guys. I mean, you really, you go on stage, you hope someone's out there, give you a job, commercial, voiceover, something, anything, but you got to keep plugging at it. So there you go. If there's one thing Joe Rogan might love more than working out, it's video games. In particular, the game Quake. In its prime, he would play Quake up to 10 hours a day. Fuck. And he went to great lengths to get his gaming fix. He had a T1 line installed into his house to play the game on. This would have cost around $10,000 per month back then. Holy shit. Guys, back in the day, I would get pissed off if I had to rent a video game for $5-10. I mean, but yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Hey man, whatever makes you happy. Joe Rogan used to be signed to Disney. He acted on the show Hardball, but that only lasted a season. After that, he got a job on News Radio, a much more successful show. He describes his character on the show as a very dumbed down, censored version of himself. We'll talk more about that later. But News Radio, to this day, very underrated show. If you got a chance, check it out. News Radio also starred actor and comedian Phil Hartman. The two became friends, and Harmon, they fucked up here. They said Hartman and then they put Harmon. Come on, guys. Again, I'm reading this for free. I shouldn't bitch about this, but come on, it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words after. You couldn't? No, okay. That's like when you're playing Double Dragon. You see Bimmy and Jimmy. What the Bimmy? What the? Anyways, I just showed my age. Would tell Rogan, that was a great video game, by the way. Good fighting shit. I mean, I would assume Rogan would like it. About how bad his marriage was. Rogan tried to convince Hartman, there you go, to get a divorce numerous times, but he wouldn't do it. And the consequences were devastating. Well, that's Phil Hartman, man. We lost that guy way too soon. That's a podcast by itself for sure. That's crazy. I mean, I always forget he was the tank engine guy on Pee-wee's Playhouse, and then Jingle All the Way, and of course Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live, the one classic skit with Phil Hartman. I'll just say this because I could talk about Phil Hartman for a while, but. Definitely got to check out where he played Bill Clinton going into McDonald's. You can see that on YouTube. It is fucking hilarious. You gonna finish some fries? Hartman's life was tragically ended by his wife, who then ended her own life. Yeah, fuck. I heard this crazy. I gotta say this too, just quickly, but I heard this crazy rumor. I don't know if this is true or not, but. When Phil Hartman was fighting with his wife that night, apparently, they were in bed together, and he told her, I want a divorce. But then right after, they went to bed. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true or not. That's allegedly whatever, because I'm going to get sued. But, fuck me, man. That's fucking crazy. I want a divorce. Good night. Yeah, so I don't know that that's true, but that's crazy. But rest in peace to Phil Hartman. I mean, that guy was, he was awesome. He did an excellent Donald Trump, too, if you ever got a chance to see that one, for sure. A really talented dude. Before the UFC really took off, Joe Rogan was a huge fan. He worked as an interviewer for a while, but had to quit. as the pay didn't cover travel costs. He then became friends with Dana White. White hired Rogan to do color commentary in exchange for free Prime event tickets. This soon became a paying gig. That's cool. See, like he just loved UFC. He just wanted to do it for free, and he did it for like, just so he could get in there for free. That's awesome. You know, I mean, that's cool. I mean, years ago, I would have done commentary for the Leafs, but you know, now I know better. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's how much he loved it. And then eventually he's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to pay you. Oh, sweet. Awesome. A sitcom about Rogan was in the works for a while. It would be called The Joe Rogan Show and utilize the talents of Seinfeld writer Bill Masters. The show would see a fictionalized Rogan play a sportscaster who moves from the world of sports to a show like The View. Well, he never got that, but once again, I think things worked out. That show never happened. No shit. But Fear Factor certainly did. Yes, it did. Rogan was hesitant to accept the job at Fear Factor. He thought the content was too disturbing for TV, and it would never air. He ultimately agreed to... See, again, that's gotta be like literally, guys. They put agree, then they put the letter small o to. He ultimately agreed to, again, a typo, I guess. Jesus, guys. To get bits for his stand-up act. Rogan hosted the show for 6 seasons. Yeah. So if you guys never heard of Fear Factor, I believe now it's hosted by Ludacris. You know, yeah, now it's on MTV or something. I don't know. So I don't know. I guess it's not that much money, I guess now, but yeah. So before, Joe Rogan hosted this show where contestants would come on and, you know, they would do a bunch of crazy shit, you know, do some car stunts, or I don't know, like at one point they'd have to eat a bug or something and do a bunch of stupid shit, I don't know, for money. And yeah. I think at one point he said that, like, for the first couple episodes he did it sober, and then at one point he liked, what was it, like the candy marijuana lollipops or something, and like he'd be just high during the show, and you know it would like get him in the mood, you know, to actually, you know, give a shit about the show. You know, it's like, hey, what's up? You know, like, are you guys ready to do this? Are you guys pumped? You know, so I mean, do what you got to do, man. So that's it. And then for a while, yeah, it got canceled, and they brought it back again, and I think they got canceled because something to do with like they had to actually drink some kind of sperm or something from an animal, like some bull or something, and then that's what got them finally canceled. And you know, and even Rogan was like, "This is fucked." I mean, you know, like, you know, yeah, the guy just wants to get high and host a show. That's it. I mean, you know, he wasn't worried about people throwing up jizz, and fuck me, that's dicked up, man. I don't know. I mean, like, would I eat a roach? Yeah, sure, why not? You know, I've eaten a couple of roaches by accident. You know, you do the whole. Remember the Up and Smoke, and Cheech is trying to smoke the filter there, the roach, and he just sucks it in, and you know, yeah, you always get a little bit of paper, weed bits, you know, but it happens. It happens, you know. So, but that was a good little, you know, vehicle for Rogan too, to, you know, do his thing. There you go. Eat a couple bugs, get paid, sure, why not? Joe Rogan almost fought Wesley Snipes. Now that would have been fucking cool. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely heard about. Yeah, I remember this. Snipes was in trouble with the IRS and desperate for money. Those of you who don't know, I mean, Wesley Snipes, for a long time, he didn't pay his taxes, which, again, I never understand why, like, people in the spotlight, especially, you know, people in music, stars, they don't pay their fucking taxes. Even Expendables 3, like, he made a joke about it. He had to go away for a while. You know, he's like, why'd you have to go? You know? And then, that was my Stallone, sorry. He's like, tax evasion. So, I thought that was funny. He was able to make light of it. But, yeah, I think apparently he was overseas at the time, and they couldn't arrest him, and he was trying to work out a deal or something, but he still had to go to jail, and, fuck. I just, dude, pay your taxes, man. Fuck. Hey, holy cow. I mean, did we not learn anything from Al Capone? Anyways, he challenged Rogan to a fight. Rogan trained up hard and was actually excited for the fight. Unfortunately, Snipes backed out and ended up doing 3 years for tax evasion. Damn. That should have happened, man. But what's funny is, I believe he made a movie just before that called Undisputed, where he was supposed to fight Ving Rhames or something. I mean, this is all fiction, guys. I'm just saying, like, the movie was actually pretty good. But yeah, it almost imitated life there. But I'm sure they wouldn't have fought in jail. But I'm just saying he went to jail, whatever. But the point is, I mean, you can fight him after jail. I mean, why not? So, all right. But it could. I would still pay to see that. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't pay to see that, but I'd go to a bar, have a couple drinks, and watch it somewhere. But I'm just saying, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. When Rogan was on TV, he frequently stressed about going bald. You're preaching to the choir, buddy. He used what the fuck do you say this? Minoxidil, aka Rogaine. Oh, okay. Rogaine, okay. To simulate hair growth, and finally took the plunge into hair plugs when that stopped working. Shit. He regretted it later and is now proudly bald. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Last couple of years, and thank God too, because it saved me a lot of money on haircuts during COVID. But yeah, I would never do hair plugs. I heard this crazy story about, just a little side note, that Joe Buck, he did hair plugs and the guy lost his voice. Now you're probably thinking, how the fuck do you lose your voice while doing, or not hair plugs, but he tried something, or I know some surgery or something like that. I don't know. But he lost his voice. And Joe Buck, he, he's a sportscaster or whatever, His dad, is a famous sportcaster as well, Artie Lang did a funny joke. He's like, he's just imitating him, and he's like, here comes tonight's TV movie, Bernie Baxter. She stars as a battered woman. Speaking of batters, here's Barry Larkin. I mean, like, that's something you can never do fucking today, man. Like, but anyways, but that's pretty crazy. And this is a guy who depends on his voice. So, but the long story, I would never do any of this shit. It looks horrible. I just picture like the top of a Barbie doll, it looks like pluggy like that. I mean, it looks, no. Bald is beautiful. So Rogan infamously spoke out against fellow comedian Carlos Mencia for stealing jokes. He wrote a blog post making the accusation and later got on stage at the Comedy Store to publicly call out the comedian. Rogan's comedy friends stood up for him and thanked him for doing that. But his act of solidarity had dire repercussions. Bum, bum, bum. Great ass. Rogan's management dropped him and he was banned from the Comedy Store. Luckily for Rogan, he signed a deal with a new agency 5 minutes later and has had 5 minutes later, that's awesome, since had his ban lifted. So everyone pretty much knows this story. It's one of the crazier things that Joe Rogan is definitely known for. It's not so much he got in shit for actually, calling him out on it and got banned, because that's where the ban came from. It's more that he video recorded it and put it online. What's funny too is like, even afterwards, he interviewed like Bobby Lee has a podcast. I forgot the guy with the red hair there. He was great on I'm Dying Up Here. I forgot his name. Sorry, man. Funny dude, funny guys together. But anyways, and like he's questioning him about it, and like you can tell Bobby Lee just this, like he just got caught in the crosshairs. He's like, like he basically wants to tell Rogan like, dude, I don't want to like be involved in this, but he kind of got suckered in. And then at the end, he's like there's a long pause. He's like, well, yeah, it was nice talking to you. He just wants to get the fuck out of there, you know? And again, like Rogan's like a tough dude, big guy. So you can't really say no to him. You know, you think he'll probably kick your ass, but Rogan's a sweetheart. You know, we all know that. But yeah, it's good he did that. I mean, it's funny too, because like to me, this whole situation reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where like Jerry was heckled by Kramer's girlfriend, and then he was like, "Oh, like how would you like it if I went to your work and bothered you and whatever?" So like it wasn't like stealing jokes, but it just reminded me of that. I mean, just someone just like interrupting your set, and like you're half German and a whole bunch of shit there, and he apparently Carlos Mencia stole a bit from Bill Cosby, and oof, that's I mean, yeah. But the point is, fuck, of all people to steal from. Anyway, yeah, so it's good that he called him out on that, because listen, the whole thing about stealing jokes from comedians, I've heard stories, where literally like someone will do a stand-up gig, okay, and they'll hire people like writers or whatever to go in there and just take notes and literally steal people's shit. Like, it is fucking crazy, and nowadays you got like big time comedians, like they'll do a set like in a comedy club, whatever, and there's like a little pouch and you put your cell phone in there and that's it. You can't remove it till like, first of all, like when you're watching something live, you shouldn't be on your fucking phone anyway. I mean, what is I once did a gig on Cherry Beach there. I don't know, in Toronto there. And what was his name? The rapper Nav. Good dude, Scarborough boy. Good guy. And, like he's just giving people like high fives and everything. And there's people with like phones like right in his face instead of like giving him like a high five. And at one point he goes like, guys, I'm putting out my hand here. I mean, just, you guys should be shaking my hand, not taking pictures. I thought that was really funny. And it was cool to see like a younger guy say that about that generation. Because it's like, I mean, you don't go to these concerts to fucking tape people and be on your phone. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't be an issue anyway. I'm trailing off here. But the point is, it was good he called him out on it. And I don't know, ever since then, I really haven't seen Carlos Mencia after. I mean, he did some kind of movie or something where he did admit he did steal jokes, but people say he said it in a joking way, but I don't know. Like, maybe it's one of those things where, again, I'm playing Dr. Phil here. Oh, but yeah. And maybe he just said it just to say, like, look, I did it, get the fuck off my back, that's it, so I don't know. But yeah, I like he even said that, or Rogan said his agent, said, look, okay, if you apologize, then we can, correct it. And he's like, I'm not fucking apologizing, go fuck yourself, So good for him for doing that, because just for not giving in. And that's one thing I wanted to say about Rogan too, is that like he never, like he sticks to his guns. You know what I mean? Like, with I'm sure when he did the deal with Spotify, he's like, listen, you guys are giving me $100 million. God bless you. But I'm still going to do my thing. I'm still going to have whoever I want on, who gives a fuck, that's it. So kudos to Rogan for doing that. So, and kudos for him calling out Mr. Carlos here, because, you can't steal people's shit. You can't. I mean, like comedians, like, let's be honest, when you're first starting out, you got nothing. Okay, unless you come from like a rich family or something, which a lot of these boys and girls do not. Okay, you got to work your ass off, hit the clubs, come up with original shit, keep people laughing every 5 to 10 seconds on average. It's tough shit. And if someone just swoops in there and takes your year's work, like that's fucking low, man. So I don't know. That's all I can say about that. I could say more, but I won't. I'm tired. In 2009, Rogan started the Joe Rogan Podcast Experience Podcast. I don't know why I said it like Joe Rogan Experience Podcast. There you go. Perfect. Like I said, I'm tired. With co-host and producer Brian Redban. The two set up in Rogan's house and basically just joked around for a few hours each week. This eventually became the first #1 podcast we know today. It's true. It's crazy, man. I mean, literally, yeah. Like I was saying before, like he had Tom Green on before, and he gave him a lot of kudos because if you go online, you can see Tom Green almost had like the same format. Whatever, it didn't take off obviously as much as Joe Rogan, but he kind of paved the way too. And Rogan gave him his props too. So I always thought that was really nice. Oh, by the way, you can see the whole Carlos Mencia thing on YouTube there. I mean, what can't you see on YouTube? And also you can see like the old shows of Tom Green. I encourage you guys to watch that. I mean, the ones he did with Norm Macdonald and Andrew Dice Clay are really funny. I love those ones the most. But yeah, man, he had a really good thing there, man. I almost wish he would bring it back, to be honest. But yeah, Rogan, I mean, again, just, all he needed was the microphones, the couch, and that's it, man. Like I say, if you watch those like older shows, I mean, he would just have his buddies on, and it's so simple. It's just, it's like guys having a simple conversation, just everyone just shooting the shit, and that's it. It was awesome. Sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing. A few years after the Mencia incident, Rogan accused Dane Cook of stealing jokes. Other comedians like Louis C.K. joined in on the bandwagon, leading to a huge blow in Cook's career. Rogan said of the accusations, "I'm compelled to do it. I can't overlook it when someone steals like these guys do." And again, guys, like I said before, it's very frustrating when you come up with, a lot of shit and you got nothing to your name, man. I mean, there's stories with comedians where, I mean, a lot of these guys, they don't know where the next meal is coming from. They're going up there for free, and on top of that, like, they got to worry about other people stealing their shit. Like, really, man? Really? Yeah, you got to call them out on it. And a lot of people, like, didn't, and Rogan, again, got to give him props, man. He's the one that stood up, and I'll be honest with you, I never found Dane Cook funny. I'm just putting that out there. Like, I got nothing against him. I don't know. I thought he was funny in Waiting. Other than that, that's it. I don't know, the whole MySpace thing, whatever. Okay, good for him. But and then I heard a thing about like his brother stole a lot of money from him, and he put his brother in jail or some shit. I don't know, allegedly. I don't want to get sued. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, the whole story there. He did do one funny thing. Like if you go on YouTube there, I think if you put in Dane Cook working at a Burger King drive-through, that was funny. I'll give him props for that one. That was funny. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fat guy and I like Burger King. But yeah, Do you guys know the trick about Burger King? You keep the receipt, you fill in the survey like for 2 seconds, and then like I don't know what the prices are in the States, but in Canada, you can get like a Whopper chicken sandwich, and then you have to get a small fry or small onion rings or a small drink. I usually get that little Oasis juice there, and like plus tax, it's like $4.18, and you get all three of those things for $4.18. So basically, what I'm saying is Burger King kicks ass, and two, worst case, if you're a comedian, you got that going for you. So, or just anybody that enjoys a good burger. So, they make it with the fire. It's fucking awesome. I'm really, really trailing off here, but the point is, don't steal jokes. Thank you. Joe Rogan is a man of many questions. He proved this with his sci-fi show, Joe Rogan Questions on Everything. The show saw Rogan investigating various conspiracy theories like Bigfoot and UFOs. Unfortunately, it only lasted one season. I remember the show. It wasn't bad. It was all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a sci-fi. I know I look like a guy that should, own like 1,000 Star Trek figures or whatever, Star Wars or anything, doing with stars. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. Bigfoot. I think they said in a Simpsons episode that he lived in Toronto, which I didn't know that until then. UFOs, yes, I do believe in UFOs, but that's because I like to get drunk in the woods. Few noticed, after all, he's a podcaster. But Rogan has a skin disorder named vitiligo on his feet and hands. I did not know that. Okay, well, let's look that up here. Vitiligo. There you go. Okay. I love when you like put in a word and it just does it for you. Thank God. Yeah, because I always gotta go back and forth. It just saves time. Anyways, vitiligo is a condition in which the skin loses its pigment cells. Melanosis. Noise. This can result in discolored patches in different areas of the body, including the skin, hair, and mucous membranes. Vitiligo, or I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, there you go, in brackets. Vitiligo. There you go. Thank you. Is a disease that causes loss of skin color in patches. Okay. I did not know that. Just on his hands and feet. I've never noticed that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. You know what? There's I saw like a model. I forgot her name. That has like this condition, and I don't know, man. I think she's beautiful. So I don't know. You know, we're all different guys. You know what I mean? So what are you gonna do? You know, this is who you are. Be proud of it. Plain and simple. Honestly, like no bullshit. I know I fuck around a lot on this podcast and talk about Burger King way too much, but you know, skin is beautiful, man. That's it. Joe Rogan keeps his personal life very well personal. He has a wife, Jessica Ditzel. I think I said that right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember like Peter Zezel, rest in peace. Ditzel. Yeah, I think I said it right. And 3 daughters, one of whom is his stepdaughter. He doesn't talk about them often, referring to his wife as Mrs. Rogan during the podcast. You know what? That is very, very well, very true. Yeah, I wondered that like a while ago. I'm saying to myself, like, I didn't even know Joe Rogan was married. I saw a thing years ago on TMZ. I was flipping the channels there because nothing else to do at my parents' house. And yeah, I saw he's with his wife on the beach there. And, you know, I'm like, oh, like he's married? Really? Like, I didn't even know that. So he's got kids. I know, like, he never talks about his family on the podcast. Hardly ever, you know? Which is cool, you know? I mean, if you think about it, it's a good strategy in the sense where, one, let's just be honest, it's nobody's fucking business. Like, I just watched I've seen this multiple times, or at least 2 or 3 times, probably more. I don't know. Marlon Brando with, was it Connie Chung there? You know, and then at one point, like he mentions, Marlon Brando mentions something about his family, and then Connie Chung says, oh, talk about your children. And he says, no. And that's it. Like, it's none of your fucking business. Fuck off. And what was the other point I was going to say? Oh, yeah. And like it's good for the interview, too. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't want to ruin the flow of the interview. I mean, the whole point of the interview is for the interviewer to make sure that the person that they're interviewing is going smoothly. So you don't want to slow it down with your stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a therapist-patient thing. I mean, you're not there to talk about the therapist. You're there to talk about your own problems or your own stories and all that. So I respect that. In a surprising twist, Rogan is cousins with My Chemical Romance lead singer Gerard Way. Apparently my neighbor finds that really funny. Here's hoping Way makes an appearance on the podcast soon. I did not know that. I think I heard about that before, but yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, why not? He doesn't, yeah, like Rogan's, I think, half Irish, half Italian. I'm looking at this guy here. Yeah, it could, you know, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a little Italian in there. Yeah, that's all right. On one episode of the JRE, I prefer the Joe Rogan Experience. I don't know, JRE, I don't know. I mean, SNL, you get used to that for a while, but to me, it'll be Saturday Night Live. Anyways, Rogan said he would probably vote for Bernie Sanders. By the way, KFC too. I mean, like I remember my mom said like, they changed it because you know, they want people to forget it's fried chicken. I'm like, believe me, if you look at the chicken, no one's gonna forget it's fried. I do like it too. Good potato salad. I talk about food way too much. 2020 election. Sanders used the clip of Rogan as an endorsement in an ad. This sparked controversy, surprise, surprise, from Sanders supporters who see Rogan as a controversial figure. Listen, anybody can vote for whoever they want. Who gives a shit? I don't know. I don't vote ever. I never will. I'll talk about that another time. On an episode featuring Elon Musk, or is it Elon Musk? Mr. Musk. Rogan gives the SpaceX founder his first hit off a joint. I don't buy that. I think he smoked before, but this is the first time I ever heard of Elon Musk, so I don't know. The backlash was intense. Really? Intense? You find it hard to believe that a guy that is obsessed with space takes a couple puffs? Really? Ugh. Not only did SpaceX, didn't he date a Canadian chick for a while? The singer there, Grimes? There you go. Who do you think's getting him the weed? Allegedly. Stock momentarily dropped, but the incident cost taxpayers $5. No, way more than $5. $5 million. Oh shit. So what? He'll make that in a weekend. When SpaceX and NASA, I like NASA, saw Musk smoke, they held a company-wide audit to remind workers of SpaceX and NASA that users are losers. Wow. Did they really say that? Fuck me. Shut up. Okay? Didn't, what's his name there? The Apple guy. Steve Jobs there. Like, didn't he do some kind of psychedelics or some shit? Or, you know? And there you go. He was tripping out and, I don't know, look what he did. Rest in peace to him. I heard he was a bit of a dick, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, he got the job done. I fucking hate Apple products. I'll talk about that another time. It was a long story with the video iPod, waste of a weekend. Fuck iTunes. Anyways, Rogan's comedy special Live from the Belly of the Beast offers a look at the friendship between Rogan and Infowars founder Alex Jones. The special star... Sorry, I paused there because, like, as soon as I hear Alex Jones, it's one of those names I just laugh, you know, because, well, you'll see. The special starts with a skit featuring the two smoking and hanging around Washington, D.C. in presidential mass. The end of the special features a music video with Alex Jones providing vocals. There's more. Awesome. Alex Jones is an infamous JRE guest, known for his lengthy and bizarre interviews on the show. Jones and Rogan went through a bit of a breakup at the beginning of 2019. Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, appeared on the JRE, and Jones didn't like the way Rogan handled the interview. Jones denounced Rogan on his show, accusing him of being in cahoots with George Soros. Who cares? Fuck. Let the guy do what he wants, okay? Have you actually heard, like, what Alex Jones sounds like?
Or where they came from. There's good black people, there's bad black people. There's good white people, there's bad white people. There's good Mexicans, there's bad Mexicans. There's good Asians, there's bad Asians. There's good North Koreans, there's bad North Koreans. And I'm stating really simple stuff here, everybody knows. But I'll go to a restaurant if they've got good food. I don't care if it's Ethiopian or if it's Mexican or if it's German. If the food's good and the people are nice, I love it. Like a women, like I love black women, I love white women, I love Hispanic women. I love them all. Like if the woman's cool, like I know a bunch of black women that are bitches and black women that are cool.
What about Swedish bitches?
I love them all. The point is, let's just say I'm super gay. But the point is, what I'm getting at here though is...
No, I don't like Swedish girls.
What are you getting?
I don't know. Let's wrap this up.
No, we need to wrap it up, but I gotta make this point.
I don't know what it is.
How was I getting into that? Oh, the racism thing.
Oh.
It's not about, I know I'm saying something so simple, everybody's like, yeah, you told me grass is green. Martin Luther King, like, it doesn't matter what color someone is, it matters what they stand for, what they do. I go to restaurants that can be owned by Koreans or black people or white people, whatever. If the food's good, like music, I love Jimi Hendrix. He's a black
What
guy.
if the food sucks?
Then I hate it. But it's not because they're white or because they're
Of course,
Hispanic.
of course.
So I don't, Joe, I don't
Dude,
see
you've been sitting next to a Mexican for 3 hours. 100% believe you.
You totally love Mexicans.
I do too.
Me too. You know, Eddie Bravo, cool dude. Listen, two things. One, Alex has got to buy bigger shirts. And second, yeah, this is what happens when you go on the Joe Rogan podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Especially if you mix in a couple drinks, take a couple puffs, you know, just, you know, long story short, Alex is out there. If you go on YouTube, you can check out a whole bunch of clips of this guy. But yeah, these two guys always have a good little banter back and forth. You know, black helicopters have been spotted. You see, you just want to do the voice. You know, he's just very eccentric. You know, he's a man. You know, that believes in certain things. And again, this just proves that you know, Rogan will have whoever he wants on. Doesn't matter. You know, at the ending here, it said, you know, normal friend argument stuff. Fascinate. I couldn't have said it better. Jones and Rogan made up later that same year over a podcast. Rogan had Jones on the show for his second appearance, and the two had some truly bizarre conversations. No shit. The episode was the most viewed podcast episode of 2019 with over 15 million views. Holy shit. That's when you know you have a very successful podcast, ladies and gentlemen, when people are willing to just sit there for whatever, 3-4 hours, who knows, and just and just listen to these guys talk. I mean, that's cool. Remember Game Show in My Head? What? No. It was a short-lived game show produced by Ashton Kutcher. Oh, that's why. And hosted by Rogan. It saw contestants put in an earpiece and perform embarrassing tasks in front of strangers, all while being secretly filmed for money. The show only lasted 8 episodes. Man, I didn't even heard of that. You know, Ashton Kutcher, I don't know, he's a all right guy, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I never liked when, what was he on? What's the show? Shark Tank, whatever. And then like he goes, I like to call myself the difference. Dude, come on. Don't. Rogan is an outspoken advocate for pot. Again, no shit. He believes in legalization and frequently smokes on his show. Yeah. He is also an outspoken supporter of, not now, later, of psychedelic substances like DMT and, how the fuck do you say this? Psilocybin. Psilocybin. Mushrooms. Okay, we'll just say shrooms. I grew shrooms once with a buddy. It was a complete disaster. I'll talk about that another time. According to Rogan, pot helps him focus and makes him more creative comedically. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. George Carlin smoked a lot of weed. You know, he had pads of paper in every single room because if he ever wrote a joke down, you know, he wanted to know that, or if he had to write something down, he wanted to know something was, you know, in the room that he could just quickly write his ideas on. He said that too. It just came out way better when he smoked weed. So there you go. King Carlin, we miss you, man. Rest in peace. An avid hunter, Rogan subscribes to the eat what you kill philosophy. He eats as much of the animals he hunts as possible in an effort to avoid factory farmed meat. Where'd you live? In the Amazon jungle? I mean, like, where's he, you know? I don't know. I just go to food basics. DMT has had a huge influence on Rogan's life. Trying to describe it, he said, the experience is so overwhelming and so alien, ... consistently changing geometric patterns, ... I don't see any negative to it. He goes on to say everyone should be able to experience it legally. I agree. Listen, I'm one of these people, I think every drug should be legal. I mean, if you're stupid enough to do heroin, go for it. I mean, it's up to you. I think in Colorado, I think shrooms are legal. So, you know. I mean, would I eat mushrooms and then, you know, go snowboarding? You know. I wouldn't go snowboarding anyway. I'd break the fucking board. But, yeah, fuck it. Do what you want. Rogan is a frequent user of sensory deprivation. Float tanks. One float tank experience was so positively motivating to him, he wrote a lengthy blog post describing it. He claims the experience gave him so much positive energy that his body was pulsating at one point during the float. I'm going to be honest with you. I remember back in the day, I watched a Simpsons episode where Homer got trapped in one of these. And I don't know, again, call me stupid, but ever since I saw that, I would never trust anybody with my life in one. I just assume I'm going to bust out of here in like 2 days later, and then all my shit's going to be gone in the apartment. So fuck it. But I think he's got one in his house, so he's good there, you know. Do a little hunting, you know, you hop in there for a little space travel. Action Bronson, the rapper, he did a music video about being in one of these things. It was pretty cool. But me, no, I don't, no. I'm not claustrophobic, but, you know, I'm scared of, what's it called, dying. Rogan's podcast studio is much more than just that. He had a full gym installed into the studio, complete with a section for training in martial arts. Listen, 100 mil, sky's the limit. The video game UFC 2 features Rogan as a playable fighter. If players input the Konami code at the character menu, they'll unlock the podcaster and comedian. That's pretty cool. Rogan often has political figures on his show, but does not affiliate with any one particular party. Good move. He holds mostly libertarian views, leaning more on the liberal side. You could say that about anybody. I'm just, you know, come on. The comedian's audition for Fear Factor wasn't exactly conventional. He said on an episode of the JRE that he was high when he went into the meeting. He asked the interviewer, "What are you going to do? You're going to sick dogs on people?" They thought he would make a perfect fit for the show. Again, guys, you know, let's be honest. I mean, who hasn't been high during a meeting? I mean, that's just, I'm Canadian. One episode of Fear Factor even let Rogan show off his fighting prowess. On the episode, an angry female contestant shoves her competitor. When Rogan scolds her, her husband goes on the offense and tries to fight Rogan. Good move, dickhead. Rogan puts the guy in a hold and another contestant breaks them up. What does that sound like? Let's find out.
Victoria, Jonathan, come on over here.
I have no idea. You were the biggest.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't assault people. What are you doing?
Oh, but he
is called strategy. He's yelling at you. You can't run up to him and hit him.
In previous shows, I've upset a few people. I've ruffled a few feathers, if you will. Victoria might have been the most agitated I've ever made anyone. I mean, she punched me as hard as she could. I mean, she held nothing back and nothing backwards.
Look, if you and your husband hit each other, that's one thing. You don't run up and hit other contestants. No, hey.
After yelling at his wife the entire time, he's sticking up for her.
He got in Joe's face.
And then he got too close to Joe.
He's
Oh my God.
And then all of a sudden they start going at it, and I was like, all right, I gotta break this up because Joe's gonna kill him.
Hey.
And we have to go still, my partner's crying. This is the greatest reality show ever.
I mean, this show is a fucking mess at times. But yeah, this guy here, the blonde guy, I forgot his name. I remember him on Survivor. He actually, the first year he was on there, he actually lied about his grandma dying just so he could get like sympathy votes or whatever. Man, I don't know. That's hardcore, man. But yeah, like Rogan grabbing the guy. Like, keep in mind, again, like Rogan's probably high. He's still like it looks like he's barely touching him. You know what I mean? It looks like he just like throw him in the water. But of course, you know, you don't want to get a lawsuit and whatever. And, you know, but I don't know. The one guy breaking up the fight, though, I don't know. He, I don't know. Is it just me or does he like remind you of, I don't know, the guy in the beginning of Pineapple Express? Like the one student, you know, time to suck today's dick. I just, a little too sporty there with the headband. Anyways, the point is, yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, intervene. You know, you gotta kick some ass. You know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, there's no point in learning martial arts if you can't use it once in a while. You know, I'm not saying go into fucking Central Park and look for fights, but I heard certain people would listen. The point is, yeah. You know, you got to be careful, but at the same time, you got to defend yourself. So, no harm, no foul. On an episode of the JRE, Rogan revealed the moment that got Fear Factor canceled. And I talked about this before. One episode featured a challenge where competitors had to drink either donkey urine or donkey semen. Yes, you read this right. The episode was pulled from broadcast. I mean, this is what, on like NBC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, one of those stations. You know, you can't show porn, but you're able to show this, huh? Okay, this is like, and keep in mind, like this show aired at what, like 8 o'clock at night, so 8 to 10, it's kind of like, you know, it's supposed to be more family friendly, I guess, and I don't know, people, you know, chugging on piss and, you know, drinking jizz and fuck me. I mean, this is preposterous. Yeah, man. You know, that's wow. For, like, how much did they get again? Like $10,000 or something. I mean, I wouldn't do it. You know, I was talking about food before. I've never been that hungry. As a response to the viral vegan ueri trend. Where people went vegan for a month. Rogan decided to eat only meat that same month. That's funny. Apparently, it did him a lot of good. He saw his vitiligo. One of these days, I'll get it right. Improve, felt more positive, and felt a decrease in pain. The poops weren't so good, though. I hear you, man. Oof, geez, you have I don't know, man, you have a good barbecue, forget it. But it's vegan for a month, that's stupid. You know, guys, you need meat to live, okay? Come on. You know, like meat, cheese, the bread. You know, I'm going to get into a vegan podcast later and why it's fucking pointless, but you know, I'll just say this, and I'm probably going to say this again. If, you know, like a pig had a chance, he would eat you. Okay? Remember the movie Snatch? Enough said. One of the most positive effects of the JRE is Sober October. This sees Rogan and his comedian friends getting sober and sticking to strict workout challenges the entire month. The challenge has since caught on across the world, with many JRE fans participating in and documenting the month of sobriety. Not me. Listen, first of all, October is a horrible month for me to diet, even if I did want to, even if I did actually give a shit. First of all, I'm Canadian, so We got Thanksgiving there, okay, so ain't gonna happen. Then the main thing, I love candy. Bum ba dum ba dum bum bum. Halloween is that month. Usually the Halloween goes on sale. All that candy, all the treats, all the chocolate, all the beautiful stuff. I probably have bubble tape in my system from 1992. I don't give a fuck. That's how much I loves my candy. Okay, it goes on sale the 30th, Shoppers Drug Mart. It's a little tip for everybody there. Everything half off. It's beautiful. Or it could be Halloween Day. I don't know. But the point is, it is a shitty month for me to do it. Listen, in the end, you shouldn't have to have a month to do anything. If you want to diet, just diet, okay? And if you don't want to diet, be like me. That's it. It's that simple. But it's nice he does this, you know. I mean, he does it for his friends, whatever. I mean, I remember one time they did it for a Sober October there with, what was his name? Bert Kreischer, who, I love Bert, don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the movie he did overseas there with... I don't know, the guy from Star Wars there. Yeah, but I mean, like, first off, if you look up the word man-child, you will absolutely see his face. Second, what was his name? The other Malaka there, that badmouth, Ari there, that badmouth Kobe, and then he basically, you know, dosed, not basically, he did dose Bert's drink there during one of his podcasts, and you know, I'm gonna say is this: if someone doses me, you're dead, plain and simple. Okay, I'm not even putting you know, an advisory or, you know, not to be sued. I'm telling you, you better run, okay? Because, you know, as a bigger man, I can't run, so that's the only thing that's gonna save you. So, you know, even Tom was like, "Oh, you should not do that again." Tom Segura, very funny guy, fellow Aryan. What's up, man? Did a podcast about him. Listen up, but yeah, it just, you know. And then they even said, like, you know, like what was the point of doing this podcast or the Sober October or whatever? Because yeah, he's still getting drunk, and you know, I think he said like he's drinking less, but he still drinks like what, Fridays, Saturdays. I mean, I don't know, like that. Like, there's no point. I mean, like, in the end, just diet if you want. Like, it's cool that you started that trend. I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, guys, like. You know, like, I was once like 340. I went all the way down to like 217 there. You know, apparently I can't talk anymore. But the point is, you know, you gotta want to do it yourself. You know, it's cool that you started this, but I don't know. It is what it is, and I think the whole point of it was just to get Bert healthy. And oh boy, did that backfire. But anyways. Tech company Real Talk uploaded a video of Rogan talking about starting a chimp hockey... Fuck off. Let me read this again. I don't believe this. Wait, talking about starting a chimp hockey team among funny topics. But there was a chilling dark side. Sure. Okay. Rogan had never said anything of that stuff. That's when you're smoking too much weed, when you have ideas like that. The company fed their AI hundreds of hours of Rogan's voice from his podcast and used the clips to make entirely new, scarily real-sounding clips. Thank God. They do that on Howard Stern, too, all the time. Like, they'll take, like, voices of, like, Shatner from his audiobook and, you know, William Shatner likes... Oh, no, that's... George Takei, my bad. Decay, as in toupee. Oh my. But yeah, they do that show. Thank God that's not real. Okay. Although I would like to see that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, I'm not just saying that because I'm Canadian and I like hockey. But okay. Robots are going to take over, aren't they? I don't know. Fascinated. You could have ended up better. Kanye West is maybe the most requested guest in JRE history. He was on the books at one point, but Rogan allegedly canceled the appearance. During a Q&A after one of his stand-up shows, something Rogan is known to do, one Redditor, is that how you say it? R-E-D-D-I, yeah, okay, claimed Rogan said he didn't think it was a good idea to have West on the show. Okay, clearly this has been written way before because obviously Kanye West was on the show. I thought it was pretty good. I I think people were expecting another freak out like him and Sway there. You know, we got the answers, Sway. We got the answers. Okay, nobody's got the answers, bud. Relax. Yeah, fuck. I don't have the answers. That's why I'm doing this podcast. But yeah, no, it was a pretty good interview. Yeah, I mean, Kanye doesn't do that quite often, man. So I don't know. Like I said, I did a podcast about Kanye. Again, I'm not promoting my own shit, guys. I'm just, I'm just trying to make my 2 listeners happy. But yeah, it was pretty good. Check it out. When Bernie Sanders came on the podcast, Rogan asked him if he would declassify government knowledge of alien life or activity if he won the presidency. Sanders' response was incredible. He said, "My wife would demand that I let you know. No, that's how you get voters." I sounded a little Russian there. I'm not going to lie. I tried to... It sounded like a Russian mixed with like Howard Stern's father. I don't know. Shut up! But yeah, listen, we all know it's aliens. Okay, weather balloon my ass. You know... You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do an alien podcast one day. I'm going to tell you my theory about the connection with alien and Jesus. Okay? I want to save some suspense here. Rogan's word has a pretty large sway. This was proved in episode 1318, better known as 1318, of the JRE. Rogan simply talked about Bitcoin in this episode, causing Bitcoin stock value to rise 21%. What is Bitcoin? It's 2022. I still have no fucking idea. Alex Jones, the only one mad about Rogan's Dorsey interview. Fans criticized Rogan for not challenging Dorsey or asking hard questions. Dorsey returned to the podcast to have a second, more in-depth interview. You can't please everybody. I don't know. Who cares? Joe Rogan met the ire of vegans with the release of his latest special, Strange Times. In it, he makes fun of vegans who make their cats follow a vegan diet. Guys, it's a cat, man. Like really, you gotta torture cats more. Really? Oh, fuck. Come on, vegs. I mean, just let the cat eat its treats, man, or a mouse. I mean, it's, they caught it. As cats need meat to properly survive. No shit. The joke was huge and sparked a hashtag featuring pictures of vegan cats. And they're showing the picture here, and clearly there's catnip in that tomato. You guys know tomato is a fruit? Presidential hopeful Andrew Yang saw a huge boost in support following his apprentice on the JRE. I'm serious. I mean, like, I'm Italian. I mean, I was shocked by that too. According to his campaign manager, everything is up and to the right since the Joe Rogan podcast. That was the key. That was the moment. The episode has over 5 million views. There you go. Rogan's good at promoting people, man. I mean, you gotta, better recognize. Yeah, it's not a vegetable at all. Yeah. Rogan's interview with Area 51 whistleblower Bob Lazar was actually the inspiration for the infamous Area 51 raid. Maddie Roberts, who started the original Raid Area 51 page, says he was inspired directly by the episode to make the joke page. The joke blew up into a huge meme on the internet and got hundreds of people to meet up outside Area 51 for a get-together. Well, first of all, in this picture, I ain't seeing shit, okay? So, yeah, you guys gotta... I mean, you guys are fucking stupid. If you think you're gonna show up there, even if you got a couple thousand, like, they're just not gonna shoot you. Again, guys, we know aliens, exist. They're up there. because of the PC culture now, they're just laughing their asses off because, they're just like, I don't know what happened to humanity. They're slowly turning into a bunch of pussies. They're having a good time. Coleman Insights shows that the JRE has the highest level of awareness among podcast listeners. 14% of podcast fans, even if not fans of the JRE, were aware of the show. There you go. Where's Superman from? Krypton. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Joe Rogan for his podcast. Plain and simple. Rogan's podcast has won numerous awards. It won Best Comedy Podcast of 2012 at iTunes, Best Overall Show from Stitcher, and Best Comedy Podcast at the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards in 2019. There you go. So he's clearly recognized for his shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And again, people got to know that. People know, they're aware of what he does. That's why, a lot of these people, he's been a success for a while now. In this fucked up PC world we live in, someone's just going to talk shit and go, oh, you have people on there that are promoting, the COVID is, these aren't facts. And fuck off, man. Who cares? You don't like it? Turn it off. That's it. Turn it off. At worst case scenario, watch Joe Rogan in one of these. Here's his resume on IMDb. Why IMDb? Fuck Rotten Tomatoes, which is a fruit. Now, the very first job that Joe Rogan had, I mentioned this before, was a TV series called Hardball. It aired in 1994. Unfortunately, did not have the success that Jim Carrey did in 1994, but some kind of baseball show. I don't know. I remember him talking about this. Yeah, like he said, he moved here and then it didn't work out. It happens. I mean, you think you're going to get a big hit TV show and then, bupkis. The Pioneers is a baseball team that struggles to stay out of last place. Annoying, crusty owner Mitzi. Interesting. Okay, so Mitzi Shore owned the Comedy Store. Is there a connection there? I don't know. Just putting that out there. Happy is the team manager, which includes new pitcher Dave, egotistical Frank, and Arnold, the debonair second baseman. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Bruce Greenwood was in this. I believe he's a Canadian actor. I'm pretty sure. I'm just, yeah. He's from Noranda, Quebec. Yeah, good actor, man. This guy's cool. He did a good movie with, I forgot her name. The woman from Encino Man. I forgot, on Netflix there. It's one of those, shit. One of those Stephen King movies. It's a good movie. Check it out. Mike Starr, who a lot of people know for, slipping money to the people in Goodfellas at the airport. A lot of people know him as the clown in Uncle Buck. Yes, he was the clown that got punched by John Candy in Uncle Buck. Good dude. This guy's been doing it for quite some time. Yeah, it says here the show only lasted 9 episodes. Okay. Alexandra Wentworth, Dan Florek, of course, Joe Rogan, Phil Lewis, Steve Hyder. The guy from Seinfeld, yeah. Chris Browning, yeah, so there you go. I never watched the show, I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the show. I'm sorry, Rogan. But yeah, what else did he do? And right after, he did Bruce Testone's Fashion Photography as a TV short he did. And then, of course, between 1995 and 1999, he did a little show called News Radio. Now, it's got a rating of 7.9 out of 10. Very well deserved. I think it's one of these shows that did not get the recognition it should have. I mean, like, it did have a certain fan base. I mean, it was on for, 4 or 5 years, whatever. But I don't know. Like, if it was on today, it would definitely get more attention. But, again, guys, look at this cast. I mean, you got Dave Foley, Canadian boy, Stephen Root, Andy Dick, what Well, I heard at one point, then I was separated from his wife. Yeah, I said wife. And then at one point he was living in the back yard in a shed or some shit. I don't know. This guy's, I don't know. Allegedly. Maura Tigneri. Fuck, I would have said that right. Yeah, she was on The Affair. Good show. Really shitty ending. Yeah, I said it. Vicky Lewis, Joe Rogan, of course. Phil Hartman, Candy Alexander, John Lovitz, Patrick Warburton, Brad Rowe, Lauren Graham. Hell of a cast, guys. I mean, really, really funny show. And the show is about the workplace sitcom News Radio. Explores the office, politics, and interpersonal relationships among the staff of WNYX News Radio, New York's #2 news radio station. So, for those of you listening to this podcast, I feel sorry for you. But if you're still here, sorry, I'm just being realistic. For those of you under 20, the radio used to be a device where it would have two different stations, AM and FM. What they stand for, who knows? But, you would hear people talk, they would play music, with commercials. Yeah, it was basically just a way of listening to music without the internet. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, back then it was cool, but nowadays, forget it. Does it exist? I don't even know. But anyways, if you have a chance, check out this show. I only watched like a few episodes here and there. I didn't watch it religiously, but what I saw, I liked it. I thought it was really funny. So if you need a chance, check it out. You can see a lot of clips on YouTube, obviously, the recent radio of today. And that's it. Just Shoot Me was in an episode of that. It's a very merry Muppet Christmas movie. Cool. UFC's Ultimate 100 Great Fights. It's a TV series he did. Venus and Vegas. What the fuck is this? I don't know what this is. Yeah, 4.1. I don't think a lot of people do. Just let me just say this. I mean, the main thing I know Rogan for when it comes to movies, TV, is definitely news radio. None of this I've ever even heard of. He's got a very short resume here. He's even said that he doesn't even, he doesn't give a shit about, I think he said that, but, he'll pick certain parts, whatever, but it doesn't really matter to him. I mean, his big thing is doing stand-up and UFC. That's it. And I'll be honest with you guys, if you expect me to go into details about UFC, like the Jennifer Aniston podcast they did, you guys were expecting me to talk about Friends. It's not going to happen. I just don't know a lot about UFC. I know the guys wrestle and all that. I remember one time I saw a clip, I think it was UFC, two guys fighting, and the one guy shit his pants or something. Holy fuck. I mean, he literally he beat the shit out of him. That's, I always just thought it was a phrase, but whatever. But yeah, some of it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's real fighting, it's not fake or anything. And again, I'm not saying that anything else is fake, like WWE or anything else. Shut the fuck up. I don't want you fucking nerds bothering me about this shit, okay? I'm just saying, it's hardcore fighting. I think the only two rules are what? They can't bite or spit or something? I don't know, but it's no holds bar. So there you go, man. Zookeeper. He did Zookeeper and Here Comes the Boom. He likes Kevin James. He's going to help him out. No worries there. That's what you do for a buddy. Silicon Valley was an episode of that. UFC 25 years in short. And yeah, just this year he did Just Headlines, which is a podcast series. And that's pretty much it. The only thing else I was going to mention is that he took over the Man Show, which good luck airing that show today. Forget it. He took over that with him and Doug Stanhope. I love both those guys. Don't get me wrong. It didn't feel the same after Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla. But they did say a lot of their ideas were rejected, and it sucks, guys, when you want to do your own thing and, you get hired and then afterwards, they bullshit. Yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, maybe this will work. Or maybe this won't work. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, guys. I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, Rogan's got his podcast. He's doing just fine. Just fine. Until recently with all this shit going on. I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, even for a while, like, I had no idea why. Like, they were just saying, he has people on there. They raise certain ideas about certain things, about the COVID-19 and their conspiracies or ideas or whatever the fuck. Who cares? Like, again, I can't stress this enough. If you don't like something, don't listen to it. Don't bitch and complain. I don't give two fucks about Game of Thrones. I got a long story there too. But the point is, I don't want it off the air. The new series coming up, I don't give a shit. I just don't watch it. And you're probably going to say, oh, it's not the same thing. Yeah, it is the same thing. It's someone's view about some Dungeons and Dragons 2.0. I don't give a fuck. I didn't care about it in the 90s. I don't care about it now. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I just don't listen. That's it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Okay? He can have on whoever he wants. Like I said before, I guarantee you he went in the room there and said, listen, guys, if I'm going to do this my way, 100 mil or not, I'm going to have on who I want, talk about whatever. It's going to be uncensored. Blah, 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 blah. That's it. He knows what he's doing. Okay? Plain and simple. Now, a lot of people don't share his views, including Mr. Neil Young here. So Neil Young, we all know Neil Young. Okay? You got to know who Neil Young is, right? I mean, even if you're under 20, there's no fucking excuse. Okay? He said he's going to, take off his music, or he doesn't want his music on Spotify because of, Joe Rogan's views. And yeah, he threatened to take it off, and he lost that one. If this was Neil Young, 1983, yeah, no problem. But let's just be honest, guys. First of all, rock is dead. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. Okay, if you told someone in 1980 that rock and roll music would be non-existent in 2022, they'd think you're on crack. But it's pretty much there. I mean, I love the Foo Fighters. I hear a little bit about them now and then. I still love them. They're gonna make a movie about their recent album or something. It looks, you got to see the trailer. It looks pretty funny actually. But they're one of the few groups that are actually still profiting off of thing. And all these guys are selling their catalogs off and then getting percentages off that, and because they don't want to worry about their shit anymore and just let someone else handle it, whatever, and that's it. So. I mean, listen, Spotify did not invest $100 million for nothing. Okay, so no disrespect to Neil Young, but it is what it is, man. Sorry, it's, like if these are your views, cool, but, it's, I'll just say that, it's kind of ironic. I'm trying to make a joke here, but I honestly do respect Neil Young. I think he's a cool dude, and everything. And so do the cops that live in my area. But the point is, just let them go. It's okay. Okay. So I don't bother editing this anymore. I don't give a shit. The point is, Neil Young, Old Man, it's one of my favorite tracks of all time. I mean, if you see him do it live, even on YouTube, it's got 77 million views. It's awesome. Like if you're not moved by that song, there's something wrong with you, But the irony is, he's an old man now, and the whole point of that song is, old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were, And the whole point is this is what I always got out of the song is that he's talking as a young man and talking to his father and saying, look, I'm like you, so don't judge me because I do things that you do as well. So, the irony here is really, he's just you gotta understand how big rock was back then, guys. It was huge. It wasn't like today where there's a million people doing the same genre of music, rap, rock, whatever. It was a very few people were picked. And if you had the voice, you spoke out and you did what you had to do. What does that remind you of? Joe Rogan, when he does his podcast. So it's the same thing. It's it's almost weird that he's judging him for saying all this shit. Okay, you don't agree with it, whatever. but it's still a free country. It's still the United States of America. You can still do what you want. I mean, within reason, of course. You watch episodes of The Wire, you can't do certain things, whatever. But the point is, you should be able to do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, it should make you happy, And I don't know. I mean, that's his views. If he wants to take his shit off Spotify, hey, what are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is. And I heard, was it Joni Mitchell, I think, did the same thing as well, so... I don't know. Is it going to start a whole thing now with Rogan, being on there and people protesting? Are people going to stop listening to Rogan? I don't think so. If anything, it could do the complete opposite. Now more people are going to be like, people that didn't really listen to Joe Rogan are going to be like, oh, yeah, I should check this guy out. Like, what is the big deal with it? Maybe I should see, what the big deal is. Listen to a couple of his shows and maybe he'll get more listeners out of it. Who knows? Maybe more people will be listening to more Neil Young again. I mean, I don't know, so it's crazy, man, it's a crazy world under this harvest moon. I just want to see it dance again because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. That's a good song too. Remember in Quiet Place, I thought that was a cute little moment with a couple there. I forgot their names. I don't know. The guy from The Office there, Jim, with his wife. I think his wife in real life too, right? And, they're trying to have a quiet moment and they play the song. And I don't know. I thought that was cute. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But anyways, I'm a romantic at heart, ladies. Call me anytime. The point is, in the end, it just boils down to freedom of speech. And with the world we're living in right now, with the podcasts, pretty much, what do they say? 1 in 1,000 people have a podcast. I mean, that can't be right, but that's pretty crazy. But you should be able to say and do whatever you want. So, but again, of course, not everyone's going to agree with you, and that's okay. I mean, not everyone's going to like it. That's one thing you got to learn in life, for sure. You're not going to please everybody. But I think it's cool that Joe Rogan is still, doing this and he's not letting anything slow him down. If I got paid $100 million, I wouldn't let anything slow down with me anyway. But seriously, in all seriousness, it's not even about the money with him. I mean, he did this for almost for free on his couch at his home. He just did it just to do it. It's cool. I mean, he's probably the coolest podcaster around right now. Not even the most popular, but cool because he gets all his buddies there, Bert and Tom, and don't forget Joey Diaz, dog. We're here, motherfuckers. Love that dude. I heard a thing, Joey Diaz said that, Joe Rogan offered him to buy him a house. I'm like, listen, Doug. No, but listen, with Joey Diaz, I gotta give him props too for what he did for the Joe Rogan podcast. I'd buy him fucking 10 houses. I'm not trying to say Joey or Joe Rogan owes Joey more. I'm just saying he's a really funny dude, and I appreciate Joe Rogan even introducing me to all these funny comedians. Not so much Ari. I think he's nuts, but the point is, he's been called the Rodney Dangerfield of the next generation, And Rodney did that a lot too. If you look at Rodney Dangerfield, old school comedian, I mean, he helped a lot of people, a lot of people. He brought a lot of people to the forefront, man. Jim Carrey, Andrew Dice Clay, Jeff Foxworthy, Tim Allen, Roseanne. I mean, the list goes on, guys. It's insane what he would do with those specials and how many people he introduced to the world. And that's what Rogan is doing now, But instead of just not only doing it on stage and introducing all these fighters to UFC, he's doing it through his podcast, and that's what makes a podcast so great. I mean, that's what I love doing my podcast. I really don't make a lot of sense a lot of times. I as you can see right there, I can't even conjugate a sentence. But I enjoy just entertaining people and talking to people and. Of course, I don't do that here, but I'm just saying in general, just, get stories, get information, stuff like that. I mean, this one I like to do just solo, but we'll see what happens in the future. But, it's really cool what Joe Rogan has created here. And again, if you don't like it, just don't listen. That's it. You're not going to agree with everything someone says, okay? Even if you're friends with someone, you're not going to agree with everything they say. And, That's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just want to say, you know, thank you very much to Joe Rogan for all the years of entertainment on the podcast. It's, you know, like I said, I mean, I'd like to say a favorite moment. I don't have a favorite moment. I really don't. The only one I just love listening to Joey Diaz. Like whenever him and Joey team up, you know, it's awesome. It's like Christmas. It really is. Like, it's really cool. It's like when Tracy Morgan shows up on the Howard Stern show. It's awesome. Like, it's being described the same way. So, you know, he hasn't had him since he moved to Texas, which is another thing he's trying to do, is trying to get like that to be the new Hollywood and start like a whole thing there. And, you know, it sounds crazy, you know, but you never know. It could end up happening, and people could end up moving there and saying, you know what, fuck Hollywood, fuck this, fuck that. I don't feel that way. I love Hollywood. Okay, thank you. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just trying to play it safe here. I don't get sued or fired. But yeah, but why not? You know, for every Coca-Cola, there's a Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens there, guys. I mean, you never know. You never know. But in the end, Joe Rogan has created something really cool. And thank him for that. I really do. And it inspires me and I'm sure tons of other people out there, you know. So that's awesome. And guys, just don't forget that. You know what I mean? Don't forget, you know, like, again, you're fucking with someone's livelihood when you badmouth them. And, you know, again, it's freedom of speech. Okay? Just remember that. Okay? You don't like it, change the channel, go to something else. But if you want to listen to someone who, you know, who's got a good set of cojones, okay, doesn't mind telling an off, you know, weightlifter joke, you know, talks about sports, talks about music, movies. Here it is. Joey Diaz tells the story that almost hospitalized Tom Segura. This is on YouTube, guys. Just listen to this. Enjoy the show. That's it. It's...
Ladies and gentlemen, black helicopters have been spotted.
It's comedy. Stop with the fucking...
That's right, Doug. Sorry. It's right. It's comedy. That's all it is. You know, that's it, guys. You know, like it's that simple. I mean, today's world, we make such a big deal out of fucking everything, you know, and of course people are going to say a whole bunch of shit about COVID-19 and a whole bunch of shit we're not going to agree with, you know. But I mean, if we cancel everything, it's just, you know, there's going to be nothing out there. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you watch the news, what's the first thing they talk about for the next 10, 15 minutes? Fucking COVID this, COVID that. The numbers are up, the numbers are down. You know, forget it. Like, you know, you're going to have to cancel everything. I don't know why the fuck you're, you know, bothering Mr. Rogan here. You know, just let him do his thing, you know. Let him do his thing with Joey Diaz. Fuck, I'm telling you, guys, if you just go on YouTube, put in Joe Rogan podcast, Joey Diaz, you know, best of, you're going to find a bunch of shit. It's going to be, trust me, you know, it's a great way to spend the day. I've done it many days. He hates ranch. I fucking hate ranch, dog. It's either blue cheese with wings or go fuck your mother. That's it. You know, it's awesome. Like, it's just funny shit, man. So, you know, I just wanted to put this podcast out there about Joey and, you know, thank him very much for everything. You know, created a lot of years of entertainment, really cool shit. And, you know, keep up the good fight, man. Honestly. Obviously you will, you know, you haven't given up yet, you know, but don't even think about giving up now. So just keep going, man. We all love you. Oh, most of us. Yeah. Not Neil Young. But what are you going to do? Can't please everybody. But if you want to listen to somebody who will give you a good laugh, a good interview, and of course, provide you with some awesome entertainment, all you got to do is go on Spotify and look up Joe Rogan.
Hey, Shirley, we're looking for you out here. Man, this is crazy shit.
I can't, I'm overstimulated. I feel like I need psychiatric treatment right now. And an IV.
Just finish that fucking drink, all right?
Oh my God.
Suka making is the greatest thing anyone's ever said.
That is the best word of all time. Minke juice, suka la mink.
Suka la mink.